Thank you for listening to 1252 Sports Chicago.
All right, what's up, everybody? We are back and live here at Orange Brew in downtown Downers Grove. This place is hopping right now, and we got a very, very special guest, Freddie and I. This guy comes in out of nowhere. He's awesome. Deon Thomas, former Fighting Illini, coming in here. What, you still lead the Fighting Illini in points scored ever?
Yes.
Mr. Illinois basketball at one point.
Yes.
Your resume goes on and on forever.
That it does. It's vast. It's long.
Right. And this guy, he tells me he's 6'8". I think he's 13 feet, 8 inches tall. I've never seen a taller human being before in my entire life.
I have. You know, in the life I live, there are some guys that are a lot taller than I am. But you're right, man. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, dude,
this
awesome.
is a lot of fun. Coming out and supporting Eric and Orange Brew is one of those things that I love to do. I've known him forever. And now to be able to come on and sit down with you guys, come on, man.
And we're hanging
It's
out.
the best of both worlds.
We're hanging out. We're having beers. Beers are flowing, Fred.
Beers are flowing.
Socks are winning. Cups are kicking ass, baby.
You and I, I'm not going to beat this guy up. You and I are on the same team.
That's what a Chicago team's supposed to look like, right
Agreed.
there. Not giving up any runs.
Agreed.
9-0 or 7-0 right now. Go Cubs, go, baby.
Go Cubs, go.
We got to ask about, right away, we got to ask about Illini.
Yes.
Because you do live night broadcasts.
Yes.
So what's going on? I mean, Curbelo leaves. Do you think everything that happens right now with the Illini program is a good thing right now?
Well, let's start from the beginning. This was in all of my years of sports, of playing, coaching, broadcasting, I've never seen a team that has had to go through the adversity that this team has. You have 2 preseason All-Americans.
Yep.
The first one gets suspended because of, my love for the NCAA is well known. But for a dumbass rule that they have, that this kid was going to the NBA, he was not coming back. He made restitution from his jerseys that he sold. Yep. He donated to charity to equal that amount. Should have won, but they suspended him for 3 games. So you lose your best player. And the
player
first
you're talking about is who?
Kofi Cockburn, yes. So Kofi Cockburn had to deal with a 3-game suspension, which basically handicapped the team.
Just so everybody knows, I just want to clarify that.
Oh, no, for sure. I'm glad you did that because I should know this, seeing I have a podcast. I should have known to explain this. But at the same time, then Andre Curbelo suffers a concussion early in the year. So now your 2 preseason All-Americans are out. And I say that to say this. Then you got COVID. Then you have all this other things that go along. Brad Underwood has done one of the finest coaching jobs I've ever seen in my life. On our post-game show for Illinois Sports, I asked him one game, I'm like, Coach, in your 30-plus years, have you ever seen or coached a team that has gone through so much adversity? Before I finished the last syllable of my question, he was like, no, because you just don't see it. So to answer the question, very happy about what this team did. I mean, I drafted a text message to the coaching staff, the office, as an Illini saying how appreciative I was of the job that they did this year. I mean, of course, phenomenal freaking job. So you asked if I'm happy about what took place now. I'm a huge Andre Curbelo fan. Everyone knows that. I took Javi Baez's name and I gave it to Andre Curbelo because if you watch him play, El Mago, he is the magician on the basketball court.
Sure.
But because of all of the things that took place, he felt he needed a different setting. I get it. I understand. I wish him the best because I love that kid. But to answer your question, am I happy about what's going on with my Illini right now? I am ecstatic. Yeah. Ecstatic. I mean, the signing of Sky Clark, the committal of Sky Clark yesterday, the 3 freshmen that we had coming in other than him, Dane Danger, who transferred from Baylor, Illinois was hot on him early. He's probably, in my opinion, will probably be the most skilled big guy in the Big Ten next year. I mean, so I'm super excited about what's going on.
Let me ask you a question really quickly about from Bulls fans.
Yes.
Io DeSumo.
Yes.
I mean, everybody I know that's watched Io has loved what they've seen from Io DeSumo. You think that he's hit a wall because of playing so long in his first year in the NBA?
No. And I'll tell you, I remember when guys would come in, and I'm talking about NBA scouts, because we covered them all year, they would always come to myself or Brian Barnhart, my partner on the radio, and say, hey, what do you think about Io? What do you see? What do you this? And I tell each and every one of them, draft him.
Right.
Draft him. Because he's going to be a better pro than he is a college player.
Yeah.
Well, Deion, we don't know. He can't do this. He can't do that. He hasn't shown this. He hasn't shown that. Now, I'm a smart guy. I know basketball. I've played. I've coached. I announce now. I'm not Albert Einstein. The writing is on the wall. I can guarantee you there are 31 teams that are smacking themselves on their head for not drafting Io DeSumo.
Oh, sure.
You know, because he's played great. His rookie year has been phenomenal.
Yep.
And, you know, and I loved one of the things he said, because Io didn't have to come back for his junior year.
Right.
But he gave all the love and respect to Brad Underwood because they helped him understand and develop to get to the point to where he is. And Billy Donovan and Arturas Karnisovas, the GM for the Bulls, saw that, and they understood that. And now that kid, there's no way that's but up from him.
Yeah. Do you think Io has a chance to be the number one point guard for the Bulls next year, or do you think it's still going to be Lonzo Ball?
Well, I'll tell you this.
I mean, we signed him to a big contract. Ball through a big contract.
Ball has a huge contract.
And Sumo's been lights out, man. I love this kid.
Ball has a huge contract, and what you want to look at is the business side of this and not necessarily the player side.
Yep.
Io's contract, he has a second round contract. They'll be able to keep them both.
Right.
Because his next contract won't be that big balloon contract that you would expect a first rounder to get. So do they want to save more money by trading Alonzo Ball to somewhere else and then maybe bringing in some other players that help them? Thank God. I'm a huge Bulls fan. My God.
Trying to get a tough guy, big guy.
Yes. Well, I don't know if they'll do that.
Vucevic is 7 foot soft puppy shit.
Well, he's European, man. He's a great player. Great skill player, but he's European. There's no banging in that thing, man. I played in Europe for 14 years. There's no banging. It's all skill.
So you dominated it, right?
Yeah.
If I had to play him,
You're a Hall of
he's
Famer.
a hell of a lot
Yeah.
younger than me. If I had to play him, I'd kick his ass twice. You know.
Now, bringing it back on the Illini, the one guy that I absolutely love, but I took a step back on, especially this year during the NCAA tournament, is Kofi.
Yeah.
I love the kid's game. He's big, he's strong, he's powerful, he can rebound. Can't shoot.
You know what? And that's a misconception.
I mean,
No, I'm not saying he's stretching it out to the three-point range.
Right.
But any 12 to 15-foot shots you've seen him make this year, they look good.
Okay.
They look good. Kofi, what I think a lot of people don't understand, he's only been playing basketball 6 years.
I know, he's insane. Yeah, I know.
Total.
Yeah.
To watch his growth from his freshman year to his sophomore year to junior year. Fuck, freshman year, we were talking about the kid could barely catch the ball. and that's real talk.
Yeah.
We were like, and I myself, my coach used to do these wall drills with us when I was playing. Because I didn't start playing until I got to high school. So he'd stand behind me, and I'd have to stand facing the wall, and he'd throw tennis balls off the wall. And I'd have to catch the tennis ball.
Like Tretiak for the USSR.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go.
And so these are the things that, Kofi did and worked on. And as you saw, every year he got better. Freshman year, I talk about him as big, as strong as he is. He played too narrow with his feet too close together. You ain't see that this year.
Listen, I love Kofi. He's a big dude.
Yes.
He brings presence onto the court, and that's one thing I love. I love his shot blocking ability.
Yep.
And I love his demeanor on the court where I'm not taking shit from anybody on this court.
Yeah.
You guys are all going to go through me. That's one thing I love about him. In the tournament, I was kind of brought back where it was like, That's all Kofi's doing is dunking the ball.
Right.
And he was their only way to get points, especially those last 2 games of the tournament.
Yeah.
It was Kofi. Everything ran through Kofi.
Right.
And it drove me nuts. I
Well,
hope
that's not a Kofi thing.
I
though.
know it's an Illini thing.
I got my teammates beating up on me to this day, saying, "Oh well, yeah, you're the all-time leading scorer, but I should be the all-time leader in assists." And I don't disagree with them. But as I tell them, I was only doing my job.
Right.
Coach Henson says shoot the ball. I'm shooting the basketball. That's the same situation with Kofi. You know, and I will tell you this: if I was a coach, and this is what I told people at the beginning of the year. And I will carry this through the end. Kofi led the nation last year with 72 dunks. 72. I wanted him to have 144 dunks. I wanted him to dunk everything he could.
This year, the only player in college basketball to average 20 and 10.
Of course.
Well, I mean, these are numbers that mean a difference.
I agree.
Now, do you think Kofi goes to the NBA this year?
I'll say this. I hope not.
I hope not either.
And we'll touch on. I'll explain why I hope not. Right now, no one has Kofi on their draft board. But do I think that Kofi could be on somebody's NBA team? Yes, no doubt in my mind. The thing that I worry about is that he won't have the career that he wants to have. Because the NBA has changed so much.
Sure.
You know, the big guys are stepping outside. I mean, his biggest comparison right now in the NBA, you'd have to compare it to a Joel Embiid.
Right.
Joel Embiid is dribbling the ball, he's shooting the ball,
tough. Yeah,
he's
Joel
doing
Embiid,
all those things. And that's not who Kofi is.
Joel Embiid plays more like a 3 than a 5.
Exactly,
Right.
which also pisses me off, but that's another subject. But with Kofi, so can he go to the league this year? Yes. I'm hoping he comes back for a couple of selfish reasons. And people look at me crazy when I say this. You said I'm the all-time leading scorer.
Yeah.
I would love for Kofi to come back and break that record.
Love it. You know, that was going to be one of my questions. Are you one of those guys that hold on to your record like it's a baby?
Records are made to be broken.
Yeah, there you go.
And I remember when I broke Eddie Johnson, who held the record when I broke it. Eddie called me after the game. He did. He didn't even remember it, but I did. I was like, "You remember calling me?" He was like, "Did I call you?" I was like, "Yes." And he called me and just said all these wonderful things that made me feel great. I would love to be able to do that same thing for Kofi. Okay. So I would love for him to come back. And also in this day and age of NIL, he could set his family up, maybe not for life, but in a very, very good life comfort. He can make close to $3 million over the next 2 years because he has 2 years left to be able to play.
He is a super senior, right?
He's a junior.
No, but he could be.
So he could be a super senior as well as his senior year.
That's awesome.
How about Curbelo? Curbelo decides to leave.
Yes.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing for Atlanta?
Well, I mean, with the signing of Sky Clark and the other freshmen that we have coming in, Illinois is going to be okay. I hate to see him go because I just love the kid. I love the way he plays. I love the energy he brings when he comes on the floor. I think he elevates everybody's game when he comes on the floor. But I also understand there comes a time when people need a change.
Did he get in the second game? Did he not play as much because of what happened in the first game?
I wish I could answer that for you, but I can't. I'm not a coach, so I have no idea.
I was just thinking because, he was a guy that had some problems in the first game. Yeah. Second game.
Well, they all had problems the first game. All of them did. Trent didn't score. Trent didn't score a basket. Alfonso Plummer didn't score a basket until 23 seconds left.
So what do you think about the future of Illini basketball?
I love it. I love the three. I love the 3 freshmen we brought in this year. RJ Melendez, I think, is going to be an absolute star.
It's awesome.
Goody, I think, will be close to a 1,500-point scorer at Illinois by the time his career is over. Potts Brendan Podzinski didn't play very much this year, but that kid is a lights-out scorer, shooter, He's athletic as all get out. And then the 3 freshmen we have coming in this year, including Dane Danger, well, the 4 freshmen now, but including Dane Danger, this year's recruiting class.
That kid's going to be good.
Yes. This year's recruiting class is better than last year's. And these kids are all really, really good players.
So why are you at Orange and Brew on a Saturday afternoon?
Well, I'm
I
here.
heard he's the mayor here. He's the mayor of Orange and Brew.
Well, maybe just a councilman. I don't know about the mayor.
I was told you're the mayor.
Well, I try. I am the internet password.
There you go. You are the internet.
I am the internet password.
There you go.
Don't tell him. Don't
Well,
give
that
it away.
is
You're going to throw off our
Be
podcast.
quiet, people. Don't use that. No, but we're here to support Tracy Abrams, who's a former Illinois point guard, played at Mount Carmel High School, one of our greats, has a new after-school program or leadership program, maybe I should call it, a leadership program for inner city youth called Chicago Positive Impact. So we're here to raise money for his program. You know, we had a free throw shooting contest in the back.
3 of 10. It was not good.
How many did you make?
Well, I stopped. I stopped making them. I was holding my beer in one hand. I probably should have shot with my left.
Guys, the point streak lives on.
Point streak lives on.
77 out of 77. We had to take the ball away from him and pop it. Because he wasn't giving up the rock.
That is true. So I
There
heard
was a
it up.
4-year-old crying out there because he wouldn't pass the ball to him.
You know what?
Well, again, Coach Henson told me to shoot. So I did. I'm coachable. You got to be coachable, people. I'm coachable.
So you played for Coach Lou Henson, right?
I did.
Now, think about it. Explain how good Lou Henson was, because I had a chance to interview him numerous times. He was the nicest man in the world. Was he that way when he coached?
No. No. Coach, let me tell you something. Coach is a great man, but Coach is a competitor. First and foremost, and probably one of the most fierce competitors that I know or that I've played with. I've never heard Coach use a curse word ever.
No.
Ever. But when Coach was on you, you knew he was on you.
Well,
He was the greatest guy in the world.
Oh my God, amazing!
How do you feel about Kansas winning with Bruce Pearl this year?
You mean no? Bruce didn't win. Thank God. Bruce is at Auburn. They got.
I'm sorry. Bill Self.
Bill Self. Oh no, I'm happy. I like Coach Self.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach Self is a great coach, and this is what I've had, Illinois alum and things like. Oh well, I hate him. I'm like, why do you hate him? I'm like, why do you hate him? He set us up in a very good way to be in that 05 finals game by the recruits that he went. But
that breaks my heart.
Oh, yours and mine both. But the thing is, there are blue bloods in this game that when one of those universities come calling your name, you don't turn them down.
Well, how do you feel? Okay, so like this transfer portal, it's new.
Yeah.
Are you for or against this? Because I mean, it's really made basketball fun.
Yeah.
Where if a kid's not getting a starting job at Duke and he goes to Toledo, you see him shine. You're like, this kid's the fucking real deal.
I'll tell you this. I have a love-hate relationship with the portal.
Okay.
And the reason I have a love-hate relationship, I wish the kids had better mentors or someone that could help them make these decisions. Right. Because every year you're getting 1,000, 1,500 kids that are jumping into the portal and get left in there without a scholarship. Right. They're not an Andre Curbelo, who's a preseason All-American, who had a great freshman year.
Caro
exactly. And you get that extra start. But I love it because I think if a coach can lead, the kids should be able to lead. I just think that they need guidance.
Well, and that's where my main shtick is with it. Is if you're the coach of the Fighting Illini, right? You're recruiting me to come. You're coming. You want me to come to Illinois and Fighting Illini. You want me to be there. And then in 2 years, you take a job to go coach UNC.
No, I get it.
It's like I came here to play for you.
Yeah.
And now that kid's like, kind of left with his dick in his hand.
Yeah.
And
that's
my main thing.
And that's one of the tough parts. That's why my coach, Bob Hamburg, used to always tell us, you make sure you like the place where you're going.
Right.
Because that doesn't necessarily mean that the coach is always going to be there.
Right.
I don't know if they're getting that same message today, But he used to always tell us, make sure you like the place where you're going because that's where you're going to be for 5 years. Now, of course, times have changed and they're different. But you should always play for what's on the front of your shirt instead of what's on the back of your shirt.
I agree.
Play, yeah.
And that's where a lot of that gets
Play
lost.
for a team, not for yourself.
Exactly. But where I think a lot of the thing is, where I say I love it is, it balances out college basketball. I mean, if you look at the Chattanooga team that Illinois played, they had 3 Division I guys on their high major Division I guys on their team, including one from Kansas.
Right.
I mean, so it makes it creates parity in college sports.
You see teams that because of the transfer portal that have no reason being there, like Houston.
Yeah.
All right, like Houston's not a big school.
No, it's not.
All right, or like St. Peter's, right? This past year. I'm sorry, what's the team from New York? Was it St. Peter's? No.
St. Peter's from Jersey.
Yeah, from Jersey City, right.
Yep.
I mean, teams that have no business being there are getting there and knocking out some big name fucking teams.
They were.
You know what I mean?
And they whooped Kentucky's ass.
Yes,
They didn't just beat them. They beat their ass.
Yes. 20 points. It was an ass whooping.
Yeah. And so I love that aspect of it. The only aspect I don't like is I wish the kids could receive a little bit more counseling and guidance on what they're doing, where they're going. Because if you average 0.2 points at this school, the chances of somebody else grabbing you up is not very good. Unless you were a McDonald's All-American or something. Not the chances of you being grabbed up pretty quick.
Yeah. So you got a podcast.
Yes.
What is your podcast name before we cut this short?
My podcast is called Champagne on Ice.
Champagne on Ice. Where can you find it?
You can find it on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. And we cover Illinois sports. I go from the guy that you don't know all the way to Brad Underwood.
Okay.
I mean, I want to bring on former players, former coaches, some managers, and we've done some special interviews as well. As I mentioned to you earlier with Bryce Weiler, who's the blind commentator.
Right, yeah.
I mean, amazing story about that young man. But that's it. Champagne on Ice.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Where the hell, I'm going to be nice. Where the hell's Kenny Battle?
I know he was supposed to be here.
I know.
I talked to him, and he told me he was coming.
I saw him play in high school. I loved him. He was awesome. Slam dunk machine in high school.
Kenny is one of those guys, man. You don't have to fly in the line eye if you don't have Kenny.
No, you're right.
I mean, he was the heart and soul of that team.
Yep.
You know, he's my big brother. He's one of the reasons I went to Illinois. I can't tell that story on here.
So what are you doing now? What are you doing
tell
right
Janelle
now?
Hart jokes.
No, I cannot.
Okay, all right.
What are you doing? What are you doing right now?
Well, right now I am the daytime, everyday, full-time job. I'm the associate director for the University of Illinois Athletics. So all that means in the short run is I raise money for the current student athletes that are in Illinois.
Sure.
And then, of course, I have my podcast, and I do a bunch of things in the community with inner city kids. I stay busy. I stay active.
That's awesome.
So,
That's great.
oh, yeah.
That's great.
Thank you so much for coming out with us.
Yeah,
man.
we love you.
The pleasure is
Kick
truly
ass,
mine.
dude.
Awesome.
Pleasure's
I love
mine.
it.
Hey, you
Thank
know
you
what?
so much.
Anytime. I got to get you guys on my path, on my pod.
He's the big wig. I'm just a little guy.
Oh, no.
Hey, we taking big and small. Stop
That's
playing.
right. There you go. Anytime, come on, help Eric. Eric's an awesome guy here
That he
at
is.
Orange Brew. He loves the Illini. When you name a place Orange Brew, there's a reason you name it that way.
For the Illinois Alumni Association, this is our official bar
There you go.
for the Southwestern suburbs.
There you go. All right.
There you
Game
go.
watchers, all of those things, we hold them here for the western suburbs.
Yep.
We do them here.
All right.
And
All
Orange
right.
Brew.
I know where I'm coming up next year. Watch my Illini.
Come on, baby.
There
Come
you
on.
go. There you go.
I love the Illini, but my second team. You're gonna hate my second team.
Iowa.
Wisconsin.
Oh, no,
my
that's
God.
okay.
I like Wisco.
I'm all right with
I
the
like
badge.
Wisco.
I'm all right with the badge.
They're always so. The reason why I like Wisconsin is because they're always so big,
Yes.
and they always look like they can't run.
Yes.
They look like the Monstars from Space Jam, and somehow they always score points. I
But
don't
that's
get it.
called Badger ball.
Yeah, they just,
That's called Badger ball. They get you out there, they grind you up, and they bore you to death.
Yes.
And then you fall asleep, and they make it
it's
easy
like watching Northwestern football.
Oh, my
That
God.
is
Sleepy
true.
Evanston.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they call it Sleepy Evanston. because there's only a total of 14 points scored in the entire game.
But as long as they got the 14 and the other team got the
No,
7,
this thing, it's between both teams.
Well, that's true.
Somehow it's going to be an 11-3 game. It's like, what happened here?
Oh, yeah. Well,
That's awesome.
that ain't fun. Illinois football should be fun this year.
We hope so.
Fred Huebner is doing a great job.
Lovey,
We hope so.
I wasn't a fan of Lovey down there.
Well,
I didn't like his weird ass beard.
I like the beard.
No, he looked like a creeper
I like
because
the
his
beard.
demeanor is so mean and so stoic.
Uh-huh.
He just looks like I'm waiting to die here. That's
Well-
the look that he had on his face constantly coaching Illinois. I'm just gonna die right here.
Oh my God! No, I thought Lovey was a great hire for what Illinois needed. For what they needed at that time, he was great.
At
That's
the
why I'm
time.
yes, at
Right,
the time.
At the time.
And that's what I'm saying. Brett Bielema, real deal. You get a chance to get him on, get him on.
Let's get him.
I mean, he's
Well, you're the guy
freaking
with all
amazing.
you're the guy with all the hookups.
I'm in fundraising. I gotta
Get
put
him
you,
on.
I gotta put you in contact with the people to get him on.
Mr. Point Scorer Illini over here. What are you talking about?
All right, Mike. Stop that.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys get your asses on up here to Orange Brew. We're hanging out, still having a few more beers. It's a great night. The place is packed. Get in line. It's almost out the door.
Cheers.
We'll talk to you guys. You guys take care. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to 1252 Sports Chicago.